Hey guys, gals, love bugs, beautiful souls, badasses, and amazing people wherever you are in this amazing place we call the world. So this is JB, also known as the Healing One, and yeah, a host of other nicknames we're not even going to get into right now. I just wanted to take a quick minute to welcome you to our new YouTube channel for the Sex Intimacy Power podcast, also known as SIP. Come sit with us sometime. Tune in as we go live every Tuesday at 6 Central, 7 Eastern Standard. And we'll be creating other content and things to upload as well in the interim to just give you plenty of things to discuss on love, intimacy, relationships, sex, power, communication, mental health, spirituality, healing, all the topics that I am absolutely passionate and excited about. I just want to take a quick minute to tell you more of what you could expect over here on our channel and a little bit more about me. So, like I said, we'll be going live every Tuesday, and we'll also be doing things in the interim each week to upload and give you good ideas, good juicy content to empower you, to encourage you, to motivate you, and that you can use to implement into your daily lives to not only make your relationships better, but to help empower you in your own personal healing journey, because that's really the foundation of what all of this is about. And that's my jam. That's my sweet spot in life, all things healing. So if you've never engaged with me before or watched any of my other previous content on the I Am Healing One channel, what we do is focus on all things healing with I Am Healing One. And the Sex Intimacy Power podcast is kind of a brainchild of some work that I've done for over 20 years now. I'm gonna keep this as short and simple to the point, but I really want you to know why I talk about this and why you should be listening to me. So, with that being said, yes, over 20 years of experience. I started when I was really young working with catastrophic injuries. So, paraplegics, quadriplegics, stroke survivors, brain injuries, people on the spectrum, Asperger syndrome, spina bifida, autism, you name it. I have probably worked with some clientele at some point that experience it or deal with it. And that wasn't by choice that I just said, I want to do this. It really was just something I kind of fell into, and I recognized that it was ordained by spirit. My steps were kind of ordered in that direction. And, conversations ended up centering a lot of the time around sex and intimacy because I was working with people that had, again, catastrophic injuries. And they had to refigure out what life looked like on the other side of that, how to have sex, how to communicate, how to be in relationships or marriages, how to drive, how to feed themselves, how to live their life in such a way that they still had joy. And sex, with couples or whether they were single, didn't matter, was a huge topic. A lot of people were concerned that they would never have sex again or what it would feel like and who would want to have sex with them and all these kind of things, all these questions that they were constantly dealing with. And so I was a party to those conversations because I was working in home with them. And that meant I became like family. A lot of times I became their trusted person, their safe person to bounce ideas off of, to vent, to be emotional and messy and be human and not have it all figured out. And so I learned from every single conversation that I engaged in because I was working with white, black, Indian, Italian, Mexican, you name it. I've worked with the community, the culture, the religious beliefs, the spiritual systems. I had clients that ranged the gamut. And through the years, I learned and I listened and I shared my thoughts when invited. But more than anything, I just listened. And then, starting back, I think maybe 2014, 2015, somewhere in there, I started bringing those conversations online. When I wrote my book, Hello, My Name is Forgiven. When I started working with metaphysical services and ritual work, when I started working with crystals and opened my crystal shop, at each of those points, along the journey, sex and intimacy was still very much a part of the conversation. So it started out years back with my post on Facebook, let's talk about sex, baby. Yes, it was a play on the Salt and Pepper song. I was not that original. I was not that creative. But we would have fun. People would share all kind of things and we would just get into it. And then I would be a guest on podcasts. And sometimes, I would have people on my podcast at different points in time. And we just talked about all the things. And I'd take breaks because, that's an intense space to exist in. Then I come back to it and we pick it up. Then I take a break. We come back and pick it up. And more recently in 2019, I started doing the Sex Intimacy Power panels where I would have different experts across the genre of spirituality, holistic wellness, mental health, etc. And we would just gather and talk about things and answer questions from the audience. And then, the pandemic kind of interrupted that a little bit because, hey, I had to take care of my own mental health. So I took a break and then finally brought it back last year. We started out, for those of you that started back with us, on Tuesdays, streaming live on the Facebook page during the daytime. So it was a little bit more PG. And then we did randomly an after dark episode, and it just turned out so well, and we had so much fun and got such great feedback from you guys that we just decided to make that the thing and started streaming every Tuesday night, for after dark at 6 o'clock. Now technically, because we're in daylight savings, it's not really after dark, but y'all know what the hell I'm saying. It's gonna be dark again soon. So here we are. We decided to move everything over to this YouTube channel and give ourselves a little bit more freedom to have these conversations, to reach more people, because a lot of my people aren't always on Facebook. And we wanted to make sure that you could get in on this conversation, to share your thoughts, your ideas, your feedback, to join us in the hot seat if you want to. We love for you to come on as a guest if that's something that you're feeling courageous enough to do. Hey, come on with it. Nothing is off limits. Everything is on the table after dark. So there you have it in a nutshell. Sometimes it'll be me just doing these videos in between the weekly episodes just to give you tips and tricks and suggestions. Sometimes there'll be, other guests with me. And then in the evening times on Tuesdays, for the most part, it's going to be myself and two or three guest co hosts that we dive in on all the things. We've talked about the recent episodes with the marriage proposal and the guy that was shaming his, I don't know what she is anymore, but he was shaming her, honey. And then we've talked about, what makes a woman a woman. We've talked about threesomes and polyamory lifestyle. We've talked about everything in between, and we're going to keep talking about it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button on those videos. Make sure you hop into the comments and tell us what's on your mind, baby. And more than anything, make sure you set those reminders. Click that little bell so you'll get notified when we go live. Grab yourself something yummy to drink, something to snack on, and get into it with us. I appreciate every single one of you for being in this lane with us, and just participating, because I know it's not easy. We live in a space where everybody tells everything on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all the things, right? And I know that not all of us are like that. So my hope is to bridge the gap some and continue to make these conversations accessible to not only those that feel comfortable talking about it, but those of us that are a little bit more shyer, more introverted, more chill behind the scenes, so that we all can continue to grow and heal forward together. Oh, and before I forget, yes, I want to make sure that I throw this out there. So I am diagnosed combined ADHD, meaning I am either hyper focused on a thing or totally zoned out in space. And that affects me in business, and it affects me in relationships and communication, and yes, with intimacy. And so that is something I try to make sure that I weave into the conversations as well, for those people that are diagnosed or identify as neurodiverse. Listen, we got to have conversations that are safe for us too. So my hope is that this channel will be a safe space for you to ask the questions that you don't know where to go and ask anywhere else, and that we will be able to bring you some insight and some wisdom that will help you. I've also got a background in mental health, spirituality, and wellness, spanning 25 years at this point. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, y'all. Okay. So with that being said, again, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, hop into the comments, and I'm gonna make sure that the link is under the different videos, so that if you want to join us as a guest or submit a question anonymously, you can do that. Click that link, send us your deets if you want to get in the hot seat with us, or just pop your question on the form without anything else and shoot that to us too, and we'll be sure to answer it in one of our live episodes. I love y'all.